Now, 128 hostages remain in captivity, and as we were discussing earlier, still no clarity as to how many of them are alive. One of the hostages is David Cunio from Kibbutz Nir Oz, his wife Sharon Alony-Cunio, and their 3-year-old twins, Yuli and Emma, were freed from Hamas captivity in that first hostage truce deal back in November. The last time she saw David in captivity, he was frail and had been wounded in the leg. His last words to her were, "Fight for me, don't give up." So for more, we welcome Moran Alony, brother-in-law of David Cunio, who is still being held hostage inside Gaza. And Moran joins us from the city of Rehovot. Moran, thank you so much for speaking to us once again on I-24 News. And the hostages, it's unbelievable to say this number out loud, in captivity for 227 days, and the call from the families of the hostages is getting louder each day. One cannot imagine what it's like for Sharon, because of course she knows exactly what captivity is actually like. So how is she doing? How are the girls? What can you share?
When people ask me how she's doing, I can only say that she's a shell of a person. She's without her partner. She's without the father of her daughters. And she, as you said, she knows exactly what's going on there. And I think that it's getting difficult more and more each day, especially when we hear more and more news of dead hostages that were found in Gaza. And we're hearing more and more speculations of the numbers of living hostages and dead hostages. And I think that it's, I cannot imagine other families. And I'm seeing my sister, she's waiting, she's on hold. She's trying to be there for her daughters. I think that given the circumstances, she's doing an amazing work, but it's tough. We're there for her every day, supporting her in everything that she needs from us. But it's not easy to keep hope alive, especially when seeing everything around us, the political wings, the way that people are, talking about hostage families now, saying or accusing them, in a political stand or taking a political stand. These are people that their families are there. They don't know if they're alive or dead, and it's heartbreaking for me to see what's going on.
And it's just so cruel to think that there are people like Sharon and others who don't even know if their partners are alive or not. There's been no update from Hamas. There's been clearly not enough pressure from Qatar, from the US, from elsewhere, to at least just get that, the proof of life, to know who might be coming home.
They are doing cynical use in human life. It's not news for us, but given the time that passed, we're talking about day 227. Sharon told me that, I think it was Emma or maybe both, asked recently if Dad really wants to come back. Because when they got freed from there, they were sure that it's going to be a couple of days until David would come back. And they told them that he's going to stay there just to help others. And so Emma and Julie actually thought that maybe he want to stay there. He don't want to come home. And that's hearing your daughters asking you this about their father is, I can only imagine what Sharon felt at the moment. And so I cannot conceive of, of the fact that 227 days, people are still there, and we're dealing with, I'm sorry, nonsense here. The fact that these hostages are not the first thing that every person in our government think about him, about the first thing in the morning, then we failed.
The psychological manipulation, the releasing of videos, the mixed reporting about what is happening inside Gaza is just another layer to the evil that Hamas has been involved in since the 7th of October. It is just too difficult to even try and process. I'm wondering about the kind of support that you are getting from each other. I spoke to relatives of one of the hostages in recent days who said it's a big family of families of hostages, and he described it as the saddest family in the world. How are you helping each another, supporting one another, helping each other to get the strength to get through to another day?
I think that the fact that we stand together, I think that the fact that we're keeping our fight, making sure that this won't go away, because let's face it, if the families will not raise their voice and will not continue raising their voice every single day, nothing would happen. I wake up in the morning, I see people going to work, doing shoppings, playing with their kids, going on vacations. World moves on. And if we're not keeping this alive, no one will. I personally do not believe that the government has a strong interest to keep this topic alive. I think that they already understand that they did too little for too long in order for this to be considered as something. And I think that's the way that I see our support. I can't say that we are in, constant communication with other families. I'm sure that other families are. I see my older sister Danielle, and the lecture that she's giving and the interviews that she's giving to the press. It's another try of keeping this alive and not allowing these people, and I won't say their memories, but these people fade away. I think that there not one family that lost hope that they'll see their loved ones again. And I think that's what we're doing.
And certainly that hope is inspiring so many people. One hopes that you do feel the support from the entire nation. We wait for good news about David and all the hostages being held in Gaza. Moran Alony, thank you so much for speaking to us. We appreciate you being with us live from Rehovot. Thank you, Moran.